Good afternoon. Today I'm here to talk to you about top nuggets on home working, legal and contractual considerations. I suppose working from home has become such a big thing now since COVID has hit, and I think it's an opportunity for us to talk about that. Research was recently commissioned by LinkedIn and has given insight into the working conditions of employees working remotely in Ireland due to COVID-19. The research found that 56% of respondents reported feeling more anxious or stressed than they did before the lockdown was introduced, while respondents also reported working an extra 38 hours per month on average, essentially an additional working week. The current situation is particularly affecting young workers, with 70% of respondents under 24, the age of 24, and 63% of respondents between the age of 24 and 34, saying they feel anxious or stressed as a result of working from home. So some of the factors they're reporting is feeling under pressure to answer emails and calls quicker than usual, or be visible online while they are remote working, as they are concerned about losing their jobs. The effect of lockdown is having on their ability to focus. Lockdown, or even all the restrictions that are going on as well. Getting easily distracted by their home environment, and the merger of the home and work environments resulting in the inability to switch off. So with all of that in mind, today, as I said, I'm talking about the legal and contractual considerations. My session next week will be on healthy remote working, and my third session that I will be talking about is how to help your employees to work safely remotely. So three sessions. So today, I suppose we want to talk about, like I said, contractual and legal obligations. So first things first, it is to ensure that you have a home working policy. This needs to be reviewed to make sure it addresses how employees will be supervised, how the organisation and managers will communicate with them, and how performance and output will be monitored. The home working arrangements may be confirmed by a consent form detailing home working arrangements, or by amendments to the employee's contract. So documented. I suppose we went into this in the beginning with people just working from home and really weren't set up for that, but now we've had enough time. We need to get set up and make sure we are contractually and legally up to speed with all of that. So confirm the employee's rights. Home workers must be treated the same as office-based staff, with equal access to development and promotion opportunities. If you have a trade union, consult with them. Ensure equal treatment for these workers. In the current context, it may be prudent to expressly state that any changes are temporary, and that the employee will, if applicable, return to office-based working once the situation ends. That is very important, because people may get comfortable in working from home. Other people may hate working from home, so you really have to look at each person's situation. Confirm the contact methods and regularity with your employees. Advise home workers to establish when and how they will have contact with their manager. Reporting in at regular times can also help combat isolation and stress. Keeping in touch is very important. Providing equipment for home working. There is no obligation for employers to provide computer or other equipment necessary for working at home. Although, given the latest government advice, employers should do what they can to enable home working. It is prudent to list the equipment that has been supplied in the home working arrangements with their consent or policy. Remember that provision of equipment could be a reasonable adjustment for some disabled employees, and may be the safest option for those with existing health conditions or pregnant employees at the time. IT and broadband. Employers should confirm in the contractual arrangements if the employee is expected to cover the broadband cost plus heating and lighting, or if the employer will contribute towards these costs, and if so, to what extent. The employer should also confirm any IT support and responsibility for repair or replacement if the employee's equipment is used. So just to get all of these things sorted out is important. Another nugget would be to think about the health and safety obligations. Employers are responsible for an employee's health, safety and welfare, even when working from home. Employers need to make sure that home workers are knowledgeable about health and safety and that they comply with the organisation's health and safety policy. Employers may remind staff that they should ensure a suitable and safe environment where they can focus on work. Remind employees that they should continue to comply with your sickness policy and report any sickness to their manager when they are sick or unable to work. So all the office rules apply to when they're working from home. A very important one is to carry out a risk assessment. So employers should usually conduct risk assessments of all work activity carried out by the employees. However, at this time, undertaking physical risk assessments of each employee's home may not be feasible, and so employers should use electronic risk assessment questionnaires instead. It is the employee's responsibility to address any flaws in the home revealed by the assessment. The health and safety legislation also puts some responsibility on the home worker to ensure that any members of the household are not endangered by work activities undertaken at home. Review the working time and length of period. Will employees need to be available for work during strict office hours or work a specific set number of hours per day? There may be more flexibility over working hours in a work from home arrangement. However, working time legislation still has to be complied with, including the working week and daily work breaks or rest breaks. Instruct your managers to look out for any signs of overwork. Clarify with the employees salary, benefits, insurance, tax, etc. Salary and benefits should obviously remain the same during any period of home working, although changes to expenses may be appropriate if normal travel expenses and allowance are no longer needed. Usually, it is the employee's responsibility to check that no issues arise with their mortgage provider, landlord or local authority, revenue or their home insurer when home working. In this unprecedented situation, it is hoped that any issues, for example, increase in house insurance premiums, should be minimal, but it is prudent for employees to check. Employers also need to check that insurance covers business equipment in the home workers' premises. Data protection is another area to be concerned about. Employers should make sure data protection obligations are maintained, and employees using their own computers should still process information in compliance with data protection principles. Employers should remind employees about home security, confidential information, passwords, shredding papers, etc. So to conclude, there's 10 important nuggets up there for you to consider. To conclude, ensure you have an up-to-date home working policy. If you don't and you need one, please give me a call. I'm happy to help you. And you know, that home working policy is so important because people will sign then off that they're in compliance with all of the guidelines set out by the employer, and it's a safety mechanism for all concerned. So that's it. So next week I'll be talking to you about nuggets for having healthy remote working. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cool.